Sweet relief. Sweet relief. This is a good day. Everything feels good again. It feels like I'm having a rest. It feels like I've actually played the game. Sitting through all that over the last 5 days, all the twists and turns, the topsy turvy of emotions. Man, it's been wild. Welcome everyone to the Crick Blog podcast review of the fourth test. Australia get the win in the final hour of play. We get there in the end. Australia fan here, Charbel, very happy reviewing it with India fan Nash. Banter, opinion, some arguments between us, but all in good spirits. And I'm sure there might be a couple here today in this episode after, well, supposedly a couple of controversial moments, but I don't think so. But yeah, we'll talk about those and we'll talk about, where to from here for India as well. Nash, sum up your thoughts of the day. Maybe as well starting with how you were feeling at the start when Australia decided to bat on.
Yeah, it's a dark day. It's a dark day, to be honest, because today is the day after 12 years Australia has finally managed not to lose a series against India. And yeah,
Yes, yes,
it's
I
a
forgot what it felt like. Man.
yeah, but yeah, it is a dark day because this could have been avoidable. It was a winnable game. It was at one point it was a drawable game as well, um, which was really poor to see from the Indian top order. Absolute morons, all of them. All of them should just hang their heads in shame. Take a hard look at themselves. A 22-year-old was playing such a mature innings out there, fighting for his country, fighting for his team, and you couldn't stick around for even a couple of sessions. That's absolute shame on you. You are supposedly the veterans. Everyone, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, who talks a big game all the time. KL Rahul was disappointing, but he did get a good ball, but it was still disappointing. Rishabh Pant, absolutely no need to play that shot.
The turning point.
You know, yeah, absolutely. Jadeja got a peach of a delivery, so can't really complain there. But then Washington Sundar, I don't know what he was doing. Why was he taking singles? What was the message? What was the thought behind that? I
I
mean,
was very surprised
Bumrah,
watching it. Yeah. Yeah.
Bumrah and Siraj and Akashdeep were facing full overs
Yeah.
from Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon and stuff, and that was absolutely thoughtless cricket. That's
That's something I
not
want
even
to talk about.
schoolboyish
Yeah.
cricket.
Yeah.
Because even in school cricket, you're first taught,
Yeah.
protect your bowlers. Just if you're a batter, play all the balls.
100%.
Um, yeah, look at the start when Australia decided to bat, I was under the hope that this batting lineup could at least end up drawing the game. Uh, but then obviously you can't. Hope is a really really poor thing. Hope is a really poor thing.
I tweeted that. I
Hope,
tweeted
hope,
that.
hope, hope can drive you insane. Hope can drive you absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a famous quote from Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Hope is I'm not, I don't, I'm not, I can't remember it word for word, but it goes something like, hope can drive a man insane, but sometimes
Yes.
hope is the only thing you have.
Yeah.
Um, and that
Yeah.
just sums up Indian cricket at the moment, because it's been a pathetic year. I know I've gone on since the start of the episode. I've just rambled on, but it's been a pathetic year for Indian cricket. Aside from that one T20 international win, the World Cup win, which
Yeah.
frankly doesn't do a lot of good for the Indian Test team.
No,
The
it doesn't.
loss at home this series. I mean, I know going into the series, no one was confident, but when things turned up at Perth, people suddenly were like, yes, there are a few cracks in the Australian team as well, and we have to
Mm.
exploit those at all times. And this team hasn't been successful in doing that. So,
Yeah.
sh- you know, poor captaincy all throughout the turn, all throughout the series. The coach is nowhere to be seen in the press conference. I don't know where he's hiding. He was really up and about 2 3 years back when giving statements like, what has Ravi Shastri achieved, what has AB de Villiers achieved. They haven't won anything. One haven't won any trophies. It's Gautam Gambhir. I mean, it's easy to sit in the AC box giving interviews and calling people out, but when you're in that dressing room, when the
Yeah.
when the stakes are high, you have to walk the talk, and you are not a good coach. You haven't earned your accolades. You haven't earned your credit. you have been an IPL mentor, and you don't deserve to be in that dressing room coaching the Indian team. It's a matter of pride, and you at the moment you're not the man for the job. So
Mm.
um call out to the top order, like I did before. Rohit Sharma has to retire. I was hoping he would say the words in the press conference itself, like Dhoni did 10 years ago on the day, but
Yes,
wasn't the
correct.
case. I think
Correct.
hopefully it comes online later on.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. The top order from India, and when you talk about like things like Washington Sundar and Rishabh Pant, Australia played very well in this series. Well, in this game, we fought hard, and I will give the team its flowers and praise the team. But there was some brainless cricket from India in this Test match. You fought back, but there was some times where there's some very, very important errors that were made. You go back to the run out on day two of Jaiswal and Kohli, the drop
That's the moment where
catches.
India lost. To be honest,
Yeah,
there have been plenty of moments, but for me personally, that is that one big moment.
yeah, and then yesterday I thought the drop off in intensity to the tailenders. I thought look, the tailenders from Australia batted beautifully, and we'll give them credit. But the drop off in intensity there, not finishing the job. And then today,
Look,
the top order batting, some loose shots. The Kohli shot at lunch is one that deserves a lot of scrutiny as well.
lot of
That's not that's
scrutiny.
not very good. That's pretty
And
bad. Yeah,
starting on your point about the field setting, look, Shabel, this Australian team has played good cricket, but it hasn't been anywhere near what you would expect from the Australian team. There have been plenty of cracks that the Indian team hasn't exploited. For example, yesterday when Nathan Lyon and Scott Boland were batting in single digits, there was one slip, one slip. That's it. That's it. That's not. Everyone was saving singles and halfway, between the circle and the
it's
boundary, and that's
extraordinary.
not the field. What was that? What was the field? Why? Don't you do you not believe in your bowlers a bit? Do the bowlers not believe in themselves? Are the bowlers too scared to tell the captain? What's going on exactly?
Yeah,
Where's the silly point? Where's the short leg? Where's the leg slip?
makes no
Just
sense.
where's the pressure? This is
Even
not an
even just
international team.
squeezing in where the imaginary 30-yard circle is, just to build some pressure, right? Because it's Nathan Lyon and Scott Boland. It's not Vivian Richards and
Exactly. The Pat Cummins
AB de
innings and
Villiers.
this
It's
partnership, yeah, this partnership really hurt India. That's where that's the sort of the first reason being the run out, but that's also one of the sort of the sub reasons why India lost.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get replies to our um, you know, reels and comments about Rohit, the captain, and some of the tactics and people coming out and defending him. And I said today, we've got more tweets coming out and defending Rohit. As an Australian fan, please keep defending him. Like, to me, if you think he's the right guy for the job, fine. But
Look,
you got to surely at least call him out because, and then we get some comments. Oh, what about Pat Cummins' captaincy? And I will touch on that as well. Pat Cummins' captaincy can be on the defensive and conservative
look,
side at
I've never
times.
liked him as a captain, you know that.
And I have called that out before, like in the 2023 Ashes. And I thought today we probably, particularly early in Nathan Lyon's spell, we're giving too many easy singles away. I felt, yeah, particularly to Pant and Jaiswal. Let them go over the top. India with 30 of 25 overs in the first session. There's one over to go till lunch. We've got a long on in place. I
Yes.
don't like to start on a negative. We've won the game, but that's what I'm talking about. We will call it out.
Yep.
Attack. But when India fans, some of them, they infatuated more with Rohit than the team, or Virat Kohli than the
But
team.
I
That becomes a
think
problem. The team is the most important thing at the end of the day.
exactly. And you have spent enough time on social media now. That you will understand there's different segments to the Indian fan base, isn't there? There's the fanboys, there's the Dhoni fanboys, there's the Kohli fanboys, there's Rohit Sharma fanboys. These three fan bases don't
Yeah,
care about the Indian team winning. They just care about the IPL team and what their player is doing or has done. That's
it does
literally
seem
it.
like that. Yeah,
And But these are all 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, youngsters who really don't have a care in the world of what's happening. They just want their favorite player to perform. Uh, but then there's more sensible fan that I don't know, many people might not have in their feed due to the algorithm, but I try to go and make a conscious effort to follow a lot of sensible fans who put out, who call bullshit when it's bullshit. and but who are
Yeah,
happy to put praise as well where it's
yeah,
due.
absolutely.
So I think I can see in my at least in my feed. You may be following a lot of fanboys. I don't know, Shabel, but
No, mate,
at least
I
in my
follow very, very reasonable Indian fans who I thought some of their takes today were excellent, you know,
yes, and
and
look, everyone's calling out Virat Kohli. He's look, and he's an all-time great. That's why the downfall is more hurtful. You don't expect such sort of egotistic sort of shots from someone like Virat Kohli. Perfect example being the 2018 England series. He put all his ego away. He's done that before. That's what hurts as a Indian fan. That's what hurts. He has
time
done
and
it
time
before. So
again,
I
the
don't know
same
what's
thing. It's incredible.
exactly because you know he. But although I would say I've seen a couple of ridiculous claims from the Aussie fans or experts saying Virat Kohli doesn't deserve the legend tag anymore. I'm like, that's not how the legend tag goes. He's still going to be an all-time great in cricket. Period. Doesn't matter how these couple of maybe the next series ends, but hopefully he comes back strong. Hopefully India is playing 35 ODIs in the next 2 years, and one man can only hope that the ODI form will rub on the red ball format as well.
If
But
he decides to stay
uh,
on in Red Bull, but yeah, it just seems to
yes,
me
yes,
that it
that is
just
yeah.
when you're getting out the same way every time, then there's some serious problems there. I know we've spoken about this
That's the thing.
previously.
Like the thing is, even in the first innings, we saw that he can curb that. That I don't
He was
know
impressive in the first innings. The way he left the ball
exactly.
with great
So
authority and confidence, and then Australia went very straight to him because we were
yep,
like, "Oh, he's leaving the ball well." I thought we went straight to him too early in the first innings, but it was a product of him leaving the ball well, and then it was that run out
absolutely.
that
So
broke
he
his
can do it.
concentration.
That's the question. That's the
Mm.
you can see in front of your eyes he can do it. But his ego, I think, takes over again and again and again.
Just
But
can't help himself.
just can't help himself. And Rohit Sharma, I don't know what to say. He doesn't have a test career. He has a test peak, I would say. I saw a perfect tweet saying why you can't put. I've never put Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli in the same bracket. You can never put them in the same
Not in
bracket.
Test cricket, no way. Yeah.
Not in any cricket. Maybe one day cricket, yes, but still, I mean, Kohli is the
One day cricket,
undisputed goat in
Rohit's
one
been
day
a
cricket.
fantastic player. Well, Rohit's been a fantastic player in one day cricket. One
Yes,
of India's greatest in
yes.
that format too, as is Kohli, of course.
But
But in
I saw
tests,
this
yeah,
I saw this tweet saying Rohit Sharma has had a peak. Virat Kohli has had a long career,
yeah,
and that's the difference. That's the difference. Um,
yeah.
that's why you hope Virat Kohli will come to his senses and maybe one last final go at Sydney and he scores a 300. I don't know.
A 300.
Yeah. I
I'll be
put it
heading
out
there.
there now.
I'll be heading there to day three. I do not want to see a Kohli 300, even
Uh,
anyway.
if
That's
Kohli scores
asking a
a
lot.
three if Kohli scores a 300 on day three, oh, I
Oh,
want a
a
photo. I want a
300.
selfie. I
Where
want
has
a
that come
selfie from
from?
you.
A
I want a
300.
selfie from you.
Where has that come from? He doesn't have 300 runs this year, does he?
He doesn't have a 300 in his career, but that's why
Three-
I say
I mean,
final
300 runs
test.
in total this year in Test
Oh
cricket.
yeah. That's
Man,
right. Yeah.
it's been tough going for him. Rohit and Kohli averaging 24, and yeah. But on to Australia. It's fantastic. And my wife was telling me today, you look a bit agitated, a bit nervous, so worked up about this game. I said, we can't not win this. It's been too long. Border Gavaskar Trophy, 10 years, all this stuff. We've got to get the win. And when we batted again this morning, yeah, I was saying it last night in our review. I was expecting Australia to come out again. It doesn't mean I was comfortable with it because you could get a situation where you're going to need those extra few overs in the evening potentially to win the game. We didn't get there, but just we got into the final hour and it was squeaky bum time. But yeah, it was a bit nervous, but we were bowling, and then the first 10, 15 overs didn't get a wicket. I thought we bowled well. Beat
Mm.
the bat a lot like India did yesterday. I was just getting nervy again, like, oh, I'm going to run out of time here.
But
We
obviously
didn't have
you
enough
have
time.
to sort of you have to have confidence in India, to be honest. Come on, let's not put it
That was
let's
the
not
hope.
go let's not you have to have the confidence in India that they'll play brain dead cricket soon.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
have those brain fade
We
moments.
did mention that yesterday. I thought, my prediction was we'd get India, 4-5 down, and then potentially the lower middle order will give us trouble. And I thought the Nitish Kumar Reddy wicket was the one where I really sat up and I said, here we go. Because no disrespect to Jadeja, who's a fantastic player, of course, but Nitish Kumar Reddy's been outstanding in this series. He's coming off that 100 and he can bat time as he and Sundar did in the first innings. When we got his wicket, that was the one I thought, well, yeah, here we go. Come on, this is well and truly on now. Um, but yeah, onto the bowler. Cummins was outstanding. He got those first two wickets very quickly and just got us off. And then, three down at lunch. Still a lot of work to do on a pitch that was settling down with the older ball. And in the second session, it just seemed flat from Australia. Bit too defensive, I thought, in that second session. Um, you know, widespread fields for Lyon. And I'm like, you're setting a field here thinking, shit, we don't want to lose, but you've got so many runs to play with. That's why you batted on
Mm.
to bat and get out of the game. Encourage Jaiswal or Pant to try go over the top. Lyon was spinning a couple. See what happens. And I thought Lyon as well bowled okay, but the quicker ball to Jaiswal I thought was one that he could have tried a lot more too, because Jaiswal likes to play through mid wicket off the
Yep.
back foot. And if you can get one to slide through a bit quicker, you might catch him in front LBW. So but that partnership was really, really worrying. And once they got to T3 down, I was losing hope because 7 wickets in the final session on a pitch, not doing a whole lot. I think it looked a long shot. And I was telling myself that it was either going to be a run out or a poor shot or something like that that would give us an opening. And it was Rishabh Pant who obliged. That shot, I still don't understand it. You get a long hop, you can hit it anywhere you want, and he's hit it high up in the air and given a catch in the deep. That's
I
two
mean,
dismissals in this game where, yes, you can say that's the way he plays as an attacking player, but you've got to have some smarts to know that the field is set in certain
he was
positions.
playing well up until that point.
He was playing beautifully. Yeah,
He was picking his
crazy.
shots. He was picking his balls.
Yeah,
And he was defending well. And then I saw a statement from Rohit Sharma saying, we were going for the win. Um, and that made me
didn't seem
think.
like it.
Then yeah, exactly. But that made me think. Then do you really blame only Rishabh Pant for playing that shot? Yes, you do blame him for that shot, but then the blame has to be on the management, on the captain as well, because. If you tell a player like Rishabh Pant we are going for the win, he is going to play his shots at some point. Um, so and then again you speaking about what you mentioned earlier about the captaincy from Pat Cummins to particularly players like Rishabh Pant and Yashasvi Jaiswal. There was some criticism always to be had from my end on Pat Cummins. I've never 2 years ago after Tim Payne, I was a big supporter of Pat Cummins as a captain, but 2 years in, 2 3 years in, I'm not a big fan. I'm still not convinced him as a captain because he seems to miss a few moments and sort of doesn't really is more of a defensive captain, if you know what I mean. And
Look, he
then
is on the conservative side. I think he's done a good job as captain of this team, and he's a good leader. But yes, he is on the defensive side of things. And I think we did
yes,
rely on that mistake from Rishabh Pant to give us an
that's
opening.
what I mean. That's what I mean. The reliance is on that mistake, and then like you said,
Yes.
Pant obliged, and the
Yeah,
Indian
yeah,
team
yeah.
was too stupid, too absolute idiots to see that the pressure was actually on the Australian team when they got out,
Big time.
because we have done that before. The Indian team has done that before, not long ago, literally 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They have done. They almost did it twice. They almost did it in Sydney as well.
Mm.
Um, and the pressure was on the Australian team. So you could have just batted smartly and not like the absolute morons that you have been.
They bat another
And
half hour,
and
Jaiswal and Pant. That game is done. If they bat another
exactly.
half an hour,
You
that
don't even
game's
need to
finished.
reach to punt, to be honest. The top order, Virat Kohli shot, Rohit Sharma shot. That's where
Mm.
those two need to step up.
Yeah.
That's going to be my bugbear for the rest of the series. Rohit Sharma needs to retire. That's it. There's
Yeah.
no let Jasprit Bumrah lead in Sydney. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't have any hope in Sydney as well. Even with the rain, India might lose.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, see what the conditions are like there. But on to today. I mean, yeah, that partnership and sort of the agitation from Australia, particularly myself, was growing when I'm watching it on my phone at the time before I got to the TV. And I look at the LBW appeal to Stark to Jaiswal. I'm pleading. I'm like, if there's no inside edge on this, how is Mr. Wilson, our favourite son? Mr. Wilson, we'd like to have a chat with you here in Australia. How is he not given that out? Because that's back leg, cannoning into
But
leg stump. We talk about technology. The umpires call that smashing leg, and he hasn't given it. Oh, that's a big blow because
I
Jaiswal's a good
mean,
player.
and I get what you mean.
Um,
It looked dead plumb. It looked dead plumb. But what I meant, I said to you, at least they are consistent because same case was with Siraj and Labuschagne in the Australian innings, and that looked out as well.
this
Um,
one looked more out
and
because the other one, to be fair, hit the front pad of Marnus and was hitting the
fair enough.
corner of leg stump like this, very tight, barely clipping. This was hitting. This was hitting a good portion of leg, but anyway, we were able to get on
I
and
don't
get
know
that wicket.
how that guy is still on the panel of umpires. To be honest,
Oh my
it's not because of
goodness.
today, but it's just that every time I watch him umpire, I don't see him getting anything right. So yeah,
No, I agree with you, and that's cannoning into leg, and the frustration's growing there, and you know that would have really opened things up at that point, 4 down, and Jaiswal, of course, the glue of the Indian side, he would have been out, but then we go into that final session, the wicket falls, and then another one falls very quickly. I want to give, before I give, the accolades to Pat Cummins' all-round performance, Scott Boland, I thought was absolutely outstanding in this test match. Bat and ball himself, he batted 12 overs himself across both innings, more, actually. Um, he was absolutely brilliant. And his wicket today of Jadeja, that is a peach of a ball. He's got that ability to do that, Scotty B.
yeah.
When the pitch isn't doing much, sometimes you can find, something in the surface. He's made a career out of bowling on very flat MCG pitches over the years for Victoria. He's got a great first class record despite that, despite bowling on very flat surfaces. So he knows that ground so well and he just utilizes the conditions perfectly. I'm so happy for Boland. He's getting the accolades he deserves. The time in the Australian team, absolutely brilliant. And then
And
Lion getting Nitish Kumar ready, that was when I'm thinking, yes, this is here we go. Because that was the time I was worried about Sundar, Nitish Kumar ready, that longer batting lineup of India. Can we get through them as well? And thankfully we did in the end. But yeah, that absolutely outstanding. And one thing I do want to say as well and give credit to the team is the catching from Australia today was spot on. We didn't miss a chance. When you when you give yourself just the one day to get the 10 wickets you need to win the test match, you've got to take all your chances. Mitch Marsh, to his credit, I've been on his case in this test match, but he took two good catches. Steve Smith, outstanding. And Usman Khawaja, very good as well. Two very important catches himself in the slips. So we caught brilliantly today, the Aussies. We didn't miss a chance. Our fielding was spot on. Yep. Everything we needed
but
to
look,
do
I
right
think
today, we did.
we haven't even touched on the biggest controversy of the day was the Snicko. Um, And before we finish, I do have one question to you, but let's speak on the Sneeko because we were talking on WhatsApp when that happened, and look, I agree. I don't deny at all that there was no deflection. There was deflection. I'm not saying that. My only contention, like I said, is they are not consistent with the process because in Perth, KL Rahul, you looked at the footage evidence where and like you mentioned on Channel 7, Simon Toffel said the footage evidence takes supersedes the
It
Snicko.
does.
Okay, fine, all good, but then what happened when KL Rahul was batting?
I agree
That
with
is my
you.
question.
Yes,
That
you're
is my
right there.
question.
I,
That
I
is my
understand that.
contention. That
I
is my
understand that.
criticism, is have the process, have the same process at all times, because if you're going to go with not the footage evidence but the Sneeko at that time, then why not do it today?
Exactly right. Because there's many times where we see there's Snicko for something else, but there's a gap between bat and pad. So that's where the
Yes,
footage, you look at the footage and say there's a gap between, bat and ball. You can't give it out, right?
exactly.
So you can't just
And
rely on
then
Snicko. So you're right.
people were
I agree.
saying, people were pointing out, journalists, for God's sake, people like established journalists and experts were pointing out, oh, but the sneaker, the technology, the device is in the stumps on the ground, and that's why, and the ball that Jaiswal played was really high, and that's why it couldn't pick up the noise. Then, but then when Kel Rahul was batting, anything could have been picked up on the sneaker, isn't
Yeah,
it?
no, no,
The
I don't
shoes
buy
and
that.
and and
I don't know
anything.
what happened with that snicker today because we got India fans unhappy about the snicker, but I'm sorry, it should be Australia fans who are under. That nearly cost us a certain wicket today. He smashed it, Jaiswal. We know he hit it, right? He knew he
I,
hit
I
it.
don't I don't
But
understand why Australia keeps on using sneaker when Ultra
oh,
Edge is a better technology.
yeah, yeah, that's something to look at, man, because that nearly cost us today. If that was not given out, we would have been up in arms because you could see the deflection. I looked at it live. I couldn't believe Joel Wilson,
Yep.
didn't give it out again. And you
It
don't usually see Pat Cummins appeal like that so certain and
Yep.
review straight away. He's usually a
The,
bit unsure whether to review, but
exactly. Yeah. And
man,
people might think, I'm being sort of whinging or anything. It's not. It was out. Let's say I'll say it. It was out. It looked out. There was deflection. The point
he
isn't that.
smashed
The
it.
point is the
I
point is
get it.
about the process because
I
there
understand.
has been an exact situation in the series not long ago. That's
I
why
understand your
the
point. Yes, I
whinging
get it.
basically.
Yes, I understand that. And but today they followed the right process. But I don't know what's going on with that snicker. And one thing I will say, it did take a while for that snicker, the RTS, to actually come up in the review process.
Exactly.
I wonder if they had an issue with it. I wonder if there was a problem with it at that time because
Yeah, because
it just
I was
seemed
watching
weird.
on,
It seemed off.
yeah, sound mute, and then
Yeah.
I couldn't hear what the umpires were saying, but it took a long time for the sneaker to come. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the third umpires, the umpires follow the same process in the next test and in the other tests as well that are happening.
They typically do. The
But
KL Rahul one was the wrong call. I remember saying it at the time. I thought it was a very poor decision at that point. He was hard done by in that first day. Um, but yeah, it doesn't mean
and
today that
and
you want to even it out or anything like that. You got to
yeah.
call it as it is.
But like my last question before we finish today to you, if I was clutching at straws at all, based on the second inning batting performance, Australia's, are you a bit worried?
Oh, to be honest with you, man, when you got Bumrah in this form, you got to do what you can to sort of. We're talking about an all timer here. He's having a Shane Warne 2005 Ashes kind of series, isn't he? This is an all time series from an all time performer who doesn't deserve to be on the losing team. And then the same thing as well with Siraj and Akash Deep bowled very well. They were nipping the ball around. Yeah, there
Sorry,
is some
sorry. He
concerns.
doesn't not that he doesn't deserve to be on the losing team. He doesn't deserve to have these players around him.
Yeah,
He
there's some
deserves
players
better.
there that are
He
just
deserves
they're
better.
letting him down. He's got nothing left in the tank, and some of the others are really letting him down and not holding
I think
their.
I sent you the video where he was saying to Rohit Sharma in Hindi saying "bas ab,"
Yeah,
which is basically just which basically
I did see
literally
that.
translates to enough, enough now. There's nothing left in the tank. That's what he said.
Yeah,
That's
look,
literally what he said.
yeah, absolutely. And with the Australian batting, the first innings performances have been good in the last three Test matches, but there are still some cracks there in the batting and things to sort out. Now that we've won the Test match, we probably will stick with Marsh in the next game, but whether Mitch Stark is fit to play, and then who do
Really?
we bring
Do you
in?
think they'll stick with Marsh?
Uh, they love
I
him,
mean,
mate.
you're not losing the series now anyway.
We need to win it. Like, I don't care about not losing. I'm not here I'm not here for a 2-2 draw. I'm here to win.
But that's what I
And
mean.
qualify for the World
Like you
Test
said,
Championship.
like you said yesterday, because if you give Bo Webster a go, he's not going to be any worse than Mitch Marsh.
No,
So what
and
are
he'll
you
bowl.
losing out on?
And he'll bowl.
Yeah, and what are you really losing out on? Because he
I
might
think you're
even,
gaining. I think you're
yeah.
gaining because you got a bowler who can fill in
So
with
you don't
overs.
have any expectations anyway, and the other players might end up performing
And
anyway.
if Mitch Stark is not fit to play, and you got to play someone like a Joe Richardson who's also injury prone, you got to manage his overs. You need a fifth bowling option. So yeah, this is the thing that Australia, even though we've won this game and Marsh took a couple of nice catches today, we carried him in this test. And it might be harsh to say we played with 10 players, but it does feel that way. We did play with 10 players. And I got replies from India fans saying that they played with nine. And I'm like, man,
Absolutely.
understand, but I'm talking about Australia, and we got to get our all-rounder position right because Cummins has bowled a lot, Boland has bowled a lot.
Always remember, Charbel, there's if you think you're in a bad position, there's always someone in a worse position than you. Always remember that. Always remember that.
Thrilled that it's not us in the worst position. Like I'm just gonna tell you commiserations, but I'm like, nah.
But look, I think last but not the least, congratulations to Australia. Congratulations to South Africa for qualifying to the World Test Championship final at Lords. I'm not sure who they'll play, but India, South Africa, India, Australia, Sri Lanka, all three in contention. But it's more looking likely that it'll be Australia. So
Yep.
unless it all goes south in Sydney and in Sri Lanka. So let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah, it's looking okay for us. But
Look, I
yeah,
don't
we
have a
got
lot of confidence of Australia in Sri Lanka, to be honest. But yeah, let's see what happens at Sydney first.
Sri Lanka could be an interesting one because they're an unpredictable team. They wiped the floor with us in the second test over there a couple of years ago, but we smashed them in the first test. So anything can happen there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see our tactics over there. But I think if we win in Sydney, I've got to check. We win in Sydney, no matter what happens in Sri Lanka, we go through to the World Test Championship final. I will have to double
I
check
think
that.
so. I think so too. I
I
think
will
so
have to
too.
double check that. But hopefully that is the case. But it'll be a great
But India,
experience to
India
go to
have
Sri
to
Lanka.
win. Like India have to win in
India
Sydney
have got
to
no
have
choice. They've got to
any
win
chance.
and
Any
then hope
chance.
Sri Lanka and Daniel
Yep.
Alexander, his team, does you a favor.
Oh, how the tables turn.
Anyway, oh, this is a good day. Australia get home. The first time we win two test matches in a Border Gavaskar trophy in 10 years. Can you believe it? But we've done it. But there's still another test match to go in Sydney. Short turnaround, but we look forward to it. I usually would say that let it rain cats and dogs, but the World Test Championship final now adds a different element to it. So maybe we need to play and win just to seal it. But that should be
Yep.
fun. Should be fun. Commiserations, Nash. Well, not really, actually, but anyway. Because remember, first day of the series, you had the Yeah Charbel Talk Now
I
song.
know. I know. I know. I
I will
know.
bring out one if Australia win in Sydney. I'll hold off on it. I won't go off too early like you did. We'll
Yep.
see.
I know. I know. When you lose,
Yeah,
say nothing. When you win, say less.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So great win by the Aussies. Fantastic effort with the ball today. Got home in the end in the final hour. Thrilling test match. What a game of cricket, though, to finish off with here. Record attendance, 70 plus thousand
Oh,
people. How
massive.
good was that?
I'm as a proud Melburnian and a Victorian. That was brilliant.
That was
And it's
awesome.
now up to Sydney. Now it's up to Sydney and the New South
And we'll
Welshman.
get great crowds there because when you market it and you put good ticket prices in place and you encourage people to go and you make it attractive to them, people will go, especially when the cricket is good and there's a lot at stake.
And the series on the line. Yep.
It was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. What a week for Test cricket around the world. Congratulations to South Africa, who are in the World Test Championship final. And Australia hopefully will join them. Go the Aussies. Look forward to Sydney. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. See ya.